Two WNBL powerhouses, the next chapter of their rivalry. It's round 5, ESPN's WNBL game of the week, the Boomers and the Fire at State Basketball Centre. Reed and Wallace, two of the grittiest players in the competition. That's going to be fun to watch tonight. Ruth gets her feet set, and the Fire get the opening points. We'll get assessed on the sideline, maybe re-strapped, and hopefully back into the action. Here's Wallace. Little pop over the top. Nelson Adota for the finish, and she ties it up. Samuelson turns the corner. McSpadden into the game. She's come in for Hawkins and had an immediate impact.
Talking about a player who takes advantage of her opportunities, she has just done, I've been so impressed with her this season for Townsville.
Now she puts the defensive work in, and Nelson Adota, who makes the reverse to Mitchell. Which team's going to settle into a rhythm first? Here's Tiff. What a season she's having. Leads the league in scoring. And really very impressive opening half from Townsville. What impressed you most? Reed runs at Nelson Adota. Gives it off to Ruth. Can't finish. Once again, gets it back, kicks it out, and Samuelson gets the job done. Crystal Ledger-Walker into the game for the Fire. To Nicholson. She take on Murray, gets around. Lovely touch, Lauren Nicholson. Made a good fist of it. Murray gets to her position and drains it. Boomers in front. Nicholson over the top of Nelson Adota responds for Townsville. And both offenses now starting to find a bit of rhythm. George brings it down the floor. Off to Mitchell. She sets up for three. Now it's raining buckets.
Both teams were causing, and I think they're still both playing great defense, but this is some great offense being executed out here.
Samuelson, nice little cut, pass through. Kayla does. Straight to Mia Murray, who's now got Woods for company. Wants to take her on and finishes. And keeps it alive for Reed.
That's remarkable footwork for a center. Just shows the dynamic of her ability to play basketball. And Steph Reed, so crafty.
Reed to Ruth. Nicholson working on Davidson. Here's Ruth. And the roof is on fire. Apologies, it's not what you need on a Wednesday night. My terrible dad jokes. Here's Mitchell working on Nicholson, and she responds.
That was good help side defense by Townsville. They really clogged the key and didn't let Melbourne get anything going.
Nicholson puts a step on Goodchild, gets what she wants and one.
Or Nelson Adota a little bit, but not really in those isolation plays.
Wrap around from Mitchell, feeds Nelson Adota, and the Boomers come up with a couple. Rebound count 12-7 at the moment in favour of Townsville. Critical stat tonight. Wallace, creative. George, Mitchell's open, and that spells trouble. Margin back out to 5. Mitchell, will she take Ruth on? To George for 3, and Kayla drains it.
You know, that was one of those moments she just knew she needed to step up and shoot that shot.
Reed gets a screen from Ruth. Tough shot. She makes it good.
And Reed is really having her way now in this second quarter in the pick and roll.
She pounces on this one and puts in another 2. Wallace. Relentless pressure. Nelson Adota. George in good position, and eventually they get the 2. Will she go herself? She'll go to Ruth as the shot clock expires. They worked it perfectly. Michaela with the finish. Nelson Adota on the break. Gets those 2 back for the Boomers. Putting on a show early. Samuelson. Reed. Hawkins against George. Tough move. Beautiful finish. Having a fumbly kind of a night, Kayla. Uncharacteristically so. Nicholson makes her pay.
And Laws Nicholson is so good when she doesn't hesitate.
And that has been really, really costly.
I think you really have to credit the Fire defense there. They've done a great job.
And Hawkins. Priority 1 for us tonight on D. Every shot must be contested. It's been costly. They trail by 11 points, and that's a big part of the reason why. Mitchell, George is left open. How many times have we seen that over the years? The second chance opportunity. Late in the shot clock, puts up another one. Samuelson gets a 3rd. This will be driving Chris Lucas mad, and in the end, an easy soft 2. And once again, it's the Fire picking up the rebound. Reed. Tough shot, great finish from Courtney Woods.
they know that if they don't have their shot, the next person's going to have their shot. And I think that starts with Steph Reed and how she really orchestrates the offense.
They needed that, and Tiff Mitchell delivers. George gets a hand in. Reed tidies it up. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Steph gets to the rack and finishes. No percentage play to Nelson Adota is cut off. Reed sizzles a pass to the corner for Samuelson, who takes a moment to set her feet and drains another three.
Townsville's broken plays versus Melbourne's broken plays is Townsville's executing out of them.
And Mitchell, can she get something going? 9 to Ruth, they've shared the load. Mitchell, quick hands, picks up 2 more. And the Boomers start to work their way back. They've got the firepower if they can get hot. Nelson Adota now works on Ruth. Nice finish from the youngster. Wallace gets to the stripe and finishes. 5-point game so far in this third term. Wallace loses it. Nelson Adota there to collect it. Wallace pops it over the top. George in good position. And it's a 3-point game. To Mitchell. Scrap work again from Nicholson. Makes Tiff earn it. So she'll kick it out to George, who will finish. And we are tied. Hawkins wants some movement from Samuelson. Gives it to Nicholson. Shoulder to shoulder with Mitchell. Draws a crowd. Samuelson from the corner responds. And Townsville now with a chance to open up a little bit of a buffer once again. A couple of possessions if they can finish it off here. Reed gets to a dangerous spot. And one.
Steph Reed uses her hezzy, takes a long stride step.
A couple of plays go their way. And they've re-established a little bit of a break. Can Mitchell have it again? She can. Lost to Mitchell. Shot clock single digits. George gets Christie wide open. Lovely movement from the Boomers.
But the fact that she trusted Wally, saw she was wide open, and kicked it to a wide open shooter, that's what makes Melbourne so dangerous.
We've got ourselves a wonderful contest as Hawkins responds once more. Wallace to George. Murray. Mitchell. Tiff wants to take on Ruth. George to Wallace. Melbourne really ratcheting up the intensity. Will Davidson work on Ruth? She will. And Melbourne are in front. And now they'll set up at the top of the arc with Christie Wallace. Off to Davidson. Back to Wallace. Shot clock down to 6. Tough shot, tough finish. To come in for the rest of the season with the Melbourne Boomers this week. Great news for her. Former Duke graduate. And Christie Wallace extends the lead.
And I think it's been Melbourne's defense. They've been able to limit it to one and done. The offensive rebounding of Townsville hasn't been able to be a factor here.
It's back to a 2-point contest and a chance here for Townsville. Reed comes up with it. Busy as always. Feeds McSpadden and we're all locked up once again. The Fire impressive. They've settled late. Can Reed finish? Hawkins to the corner for Nicholson. Oh, yeah! Wallace. George. Thought about pulling the trigger on the 3. Gave it off to Goodchild, who does pull the trigger on the 3.
He said, you're going to only be out there for a few more minutes. We need energy. We need you to shoot the ball. And clearly she listened.
Scores level again. Big moment for Mila Goodchild, and Nicholson responds to give Townsville the lead. Great contested rebound. Mitchell behind the back. Throws it out to Murray. George. Wallace. That'll get the crowd up and going. Christie gets her own ball back. Instead of taking the extra shot, she'll pull back out. Reset. George. Nelson Adota versus McSpadden. Going, and she's had a great night.
And I think for a young player, that's so important. And, you know,
with the Boomers, they lead by 4. Nelson Adota. George on Hawkins. Adds another 2. 4.5 to play. It's been a compelling contest. Ledger Walker. Path just opened up and then it's shut down in a hurry. Nelson Adota. Oh no, says oh no. It's not a great pass and it's cut off. Nicholson. And Wallace delivers a huge basket. Inside 4 minutes. George. Wallace. Nelson Adota sets the screen on Ledger Walker, and that's all Christie needed. Samuelson against Murray. George comes across to help. Hawkins calls for it over the top. Lovely recognition from Ruth. Now Ruth switches across to cover. Mitchell. Nelson Adota. Good recognition. Samuelson, but Nelson Adota finishes. finishes. Shot clock down to 10. Samuelson steps around Murray, gets to the shot she likes, but Nelson Adoda got in the way. There in the box seat, Wallace turns it over. Another turnover for Melbourne. They've been their worst enemy tonight. Contest. Roof still has it. Wide open. Huge bucket for Samuelson. Won't go. Wallace tries to grab it. Hawkins does well. Roof will jack up a three and make it. Mitchell, 2 seconds. Ledger Walker. Wallace just has to jack it up. And Townsville get the stop they needed. Here is Ledger Walker. It's short. Wallace has it. She'll wrestle her way through the traffic and she'll want to be fouled. The 5 starters for Melbourne have all played big minutes. 36 for Wallace, 35 for Murray, and 37 for Mitchell. They have got 10 days off after this game. Will go herself. Wallace comes up with another big rebound. Runs through the traffic. And it's a big win for the Boomers.